What role can big data play in tackling society's big problems?
You know, we really haven't been able to get our hands on enough data about the world, about society, about the problems that confront us until recently. The OpenGov project for publishing government-collected data, the number and variety of sensors that we have in the wild now, the smart grid, these are all really powerful tools, really powerful sources of information to help us understand how we consume resources, how we allocate them fairly. The availability of that data allows us to ask bigger questions than we've ever asked before. And for the first time, really, in big data tooling like Hadoop, we've got the infrastructure to attack that stuff in new ways. I think it's absolutely crucial for us as a society to take advantage of that data to answer those questions.
On a practical level, how is it being applied? I mean, could you share an example?
Yeah, you know, one of my favorite examples to talk about is a group called Explorus Medical. Imagine you go see a doctor, right? You're not feeling well. The doctor diagnoses you, maybe runs a few tests, prescribes something. But you know, often you're not better in one visit. Often you need to go back a few times. Sometimes you're referred to a specialist. Maybe you're going to have an MRI or some X-ray imagery. If you look at that entire time period, all of the interactions you've got with your doctor, you can begin to analyze what tests, what treatments worked, and what didn't pay off so well for you personally. And you can build a picture of your treatment. Now imagine that you could do that for a whole hospital's worth of people, or for a whole country's worth of people. If we could do that, we could give doctors advice on treatments that work for different populations, on what treatments were cost effective. How do we make people better, most affordably? That's an absolutely crucial problem, and it's only tractable if we can collect all that complex data from that large a population and then analyze it in new ways.
What will the democratization of data look like? I mean, what will it allow the individual person to do?
Well, a few things. First of all, I believe that you'll find more data available to the public over simple web APIs, right? You'll be able to get it information in the cloud, and there will be tools, there will be platforms that allow you to fetch it, ingest it, combine it, and analyze it in tandem with other data sets. Lots of consumer brands already pay attention to Twitter and their own internal sales data. That's a pretty simple combination. You can imagine adding weather data and maybe news stories and maybe economic forecast data to that and building a much richer picture of a population you care about. Mm-hmm. That data, all available from public sources, can, if we build the tools right, if we get the platforms right, be combined and be analyzed in ways that allow us to ask the big questions I was talking about.
Last question for you. What do you see happening with Hadoop over the next year? What should we be watching for?
So, you know that we announced today Impala, which is real-time query support on Hadoop. And Impala joins the HBase project in offering real-time access to data. So HBase has been the real-time delivery framework for Hadoop for some time. Real-time query, real-time delivery are important or interesting. You know, MapReduce, the foundation of Hadoop, gives you really powerful analytics, but if I had to make a bet, I would say you'll see more real-time capabilities, more ways to get at data and get answers quickly, and much more interesting ways to digest, analyze, combine, learn from data. So the variety of tools and frameworks that digest that data and make it available for the kind of analysis, for the kind of big questions I was talking about, are going to be more and more common. Hadoop began as HDFS and MapReduce, really building on the innovation at Google. But just like relational databases in the 1980s were limited and are much more capable today, you'll see Hadoop start out as that fairly simple, fairly solid foundation and grow into a much richer and more interactive real-time platform.
Great. Thank you for being with us. Appreciate you taking the time.
You bet.